It was a decision no one could have foreseen. King Charles, the monarch who had long upheld royal traditions and order, made a move that left his queen consort, Camilla, speechless. In the most unexpected of twists, Camilla was excluded from the king's will, an action that set off a chain of events no one could predict. For Camilla, this was more than just a legal matter, it was deeply personal. Her shock wasn't only about being left out of the will but also about the deep family rift this decision would stir. For years, Camilla had been by Charles's side through the highs and lows, and now she found herself outside of his final wishes. What could have led to such a shocking decision? What family dynamics were at play, and how did this tie into Charles's relationship with Camilla? Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking details behind King Charles's decision that left Camilla speechless. The controversial royal villa incident. The royal villa, steeped in history, was not just a property but a symbol of the monarchy's heritage. By allegedly sidelining established protocols, Camilla's actions were seen as undermining the institution's values. For King Charles, the incident served as a wake-up call. As the leader of the monarchy, he faced increasing pressure to address the situation and reaffirm his commitment to fairness and integrity. Camilla's exclusion from the will didn't happen overnight. Behind the scenes, tensions had been mounting for quite some time, and they all seemed to converge on a controversial incident that sent shockwaves through the royal family. A few months earlier, the royal villa, a property passed down through generations of the monarchy, became the center of a scandal. Camilla, who had been in charge of managing many of the royal estates, had allegedly taken matters into her own hands regarding this villa. Despite being told by King Charles that the property should remain under joint ownership with the royal family, Camilla had gone ahead and seized control of it for her own private use, effectively removing it from the royal pool of properties. Her reasoning was simple: she believed the property should be hers to enjoy without interference. However, her actions were deemed not only unauthorized but also illegal, as the villa had been designated for royal family gatherings and events. Camilla's decision to take over the property and make it her personal retreat without consulting Charles or the family was seen as a violation of royal protocol. The incident became a point of contention within the royal household, with many viewing it as a direct challenge to the institution and its long-established rules. Charles, ever the monarch, couldn't ignore this breach of trust. It was a decision that would weigh heavily on his mind, influencing his choices when it came time to draft his will. This bold move didn't sit well with many family members, but none were more affected than Princess Anne, who had been closely involved with the management of royal estates and had expected to be consulted on any major decisions regarding their distribution. "That villa isn't hers to take," Anne was heard saying. "Privately, it belongs to the monarchy, not one individual." Princess Anne, known for her no-nonsense attitude and commitment to tradition, felt this was a direct challenge to royal protocols. For her, it wasn't just a matter of property, it was about respect for the royal legacy. Concerns about Camilla's role within the family. Critics argued that Camilla's actions reflected poorly on the monarchy, fueling public debates about whether she was the right choice for queen consort. For Charles, this incident marked a turning point, pushing him toward a decision that would reshape family dynamics and Camilla's future in ways no one saw coming. Princess Anne's role in King Charles's decision. Anne had watched the growing tensions within the family, particularly between Camilla and the other royal members. She saw firsthand how Camilla's actions, especially her controversial move to seize the royal villa, had eroded trust within the family. Anne wasn't the type to let personal relationships cloud her judgment, and when it came time to redraft Charles's will, she knew it had to be done for the good of the monarchy. Anne's intervention came at a critical time. As one of the most respected members of the royal family, her opinion carried significant weight, especially with Charles. Sources suggest that Anne framed her argument not as a personal attack on Camilla but as a necessary step to protect the institution. She emphasized the importance of preserving the monarchy's legacy and ensuring that its assets were distributed in a way that reflected the crown's values. A strategic move for stability. As the situation between Camilla and the royal family unfolded, Princess Anne, Charles's sister, took an increasingly active role in advising her brother on matters of royal governance. Known for her no-nonsense approach to royal duties, Anne was deeply concerned about the growing tensions within the family and the stability of the monarchy moving forward. It's been reported that Anne, knowing that King Charles's health was becoming more of a concern, took it upon herself to suggest a redraft of his will. However, it wasn't just about updating provisions for future royal duties, and proposed excluding Camilla from key parts of the inheritance in the wake of the villa incident. Princess Anne reportedly suggested that Charles consider redrafting his will to ensure the future of the monarchy remained stable, with a focus on protecting royal assets and distributing them in a manner that upheld the institution's long-standing values, stayed within the family's direct control. In a recent interview, she said, "Sometimes doing the right thing means making hard decisions, even if it means upsetting people. The monarchy comes first, and that's something we can't ignore." Princess Anne's growing concerns about Camilla's actions didn't end with the villa. As the royal family's senior members grew older, and began to seriously question the future of the monarchy. More importantly, she questioned how Camilla's influence might affect its trajectory. Her belief was that any decisions regarding the royal family's legacy and property should be solidified in a way that could prevent further disputes, especially in light of the issues surrounding Camilla's actions. In Princess Anne's words, "We need a will that serves the monarchy, not one individual. The future of the crown must come first," and argued that this would prevent any future complications, particularly with regard to royal estates and assets, which were becoming increasingly contentious. Her advice was blunt, but it carried weight. Anne reiterated, "The monarchy cannot be divided over personal interests. There needs to be clarity in who owns what, and no individual should be above the institution." Camilla, though a trusted consort, had overstepped the boundaries of royal tradition. This act, coupled with growing concerns over her control of royal properties, had put Princess Anne on high alert. The tension between Anne and Camilla had been highlighted in royal circles for years, with Anne reportedly viewing Camilla as opportunistic. This history, combined with Camilla's controversial decisions, could have pushed Anne to influence Charles's choice to redraft the will. In fact, Anne has been open about her frustrations with her brother's vision for a slimmed-down monarchy, which suggests she might have advocated for this change in line with her values of stability and accountability. Princess Anne has historically been resolute in her stance, holding firm to her views on maintaining royal traditions. Anne's stance also highlighted the differences in how she and Camilla approached their roles. While Anne has dedicated her life to royal duties with a tireless work ethic, Camilla's more relaxed approach has often drawn criticism. This clash of perspectives underscored the broader tensions within the family, making Anne's intervention a pivotal moment in the king's decision-making process. Charles's shift in perspective. For King Charles, the decision to exclude Camilla wasn't easy. He had spent decades with her, weathering personal and public storms together. King Charles had always prided himself on his loyalty to Camilla, but in this moment, he was forced to make a choice between personal loyalty and the greater good of the monarchy. The events surrounding the villa incident seemed to have forced Charles to re-evaluate his relationship with Camilla, at least in terms of her role within the royal family's legacy. Charles, who had always valued tradition, felt the pressure of maintaining the monarchy's integrity. The breach of royal protocol by Camilla had struck a nerve. He began to see the monarchy's future as something that needed to be safeguarded, not just from external threats but also from internal divisions. His decision, painful as it was, seemed to be a reflection of his shift in priorities. His focus was no longer just on personal relationships but on ensuring the stability of the crown for future generations. When Charles sat down with Camilla to discuss his will, she had no idea what was coming. According to sources close to the royal family, Camilla was blindsided when Charles revealed that he had decided to exclude her from his will altogether. Her reaction, speechless. "I never thought he'd do this," Camilla reportedly said, struggling to comprehend what was unfolding. For King Charles, this wasn't an easy decision. He had always been fiercely protective of Camilla, especially after everything they had been through together. But the pressure from within the family, especially from Anne, had become impossible to ignore. A difficult choice. King Charles was torn. On one hand, he wanted to honor his wife and her contributions to his life. On the other hand, he was being reminded, both by Anne and by other advisors, that the monarchy's future was at stake. The family was deeply divided, and Charles had to make a choice: would he allow his attachment to Camilla to continue influencing his decisions, or would he choose the stability of the monarchy over his personal ties? This decision also reflects a broader narrative of change under Charles's reign. From streamlining the monarchy to emphasizing a modernized vision, Charles's focus has been clear. Yet excluding Camilla has sparked heated debates. Was this a necessary step, or does it expose deeper fractures in their relationship? When Camilla learned of her exclusion from King Charles's will, she was reportedly speechless. Her reaction wasn't just one of shock but also of betrayal. For years, she had been a loyal partner to Charles, working side by side with him to fulfill her royal duties and support him through the pressures of public life. To now find herself excluded from his final plans was a blow she hadn't seen coming. What made King Charles's decision to exclude Camilla even more shocking was his sudden shift in priorities. Historically, Charles had always put Camilla's interests first, often defending her when others in the family criticized her. However, it appears that after years of compromises and whispered family disagreements, Charles was beginning to understand the importance of the monarchy's long-term survival over individual desires. Camilla wasn't the only one stunned by the decision. The royal family was divided over the matter. Some felt that Camilla's exclusion was a necessary step in safeguarding the monarchy's future, while others believed it was a harsh decision given her role in supporting Charles. As the decision was finalized and the new will came into effect, Camilla's reaction was one of stunned silence. She had lost not just her place in Charles's legacy but also her influence within the royal family. The personal betrayal she felt was palpable, and though she tried to maintain composure, it was clear that this was a blow she hadn't anticipated. For all her influence, Camilla had become a liability in Charles's eyes. Her actions regarding the villa had created a rift within the family that could no longer be ignored. Anne's advice seemed to hit home, and for the first time in his reign, Charles was putting the institution of the monarchy above personal relationships. Camilla had always believed that her position was secure. After all, she was the queen consort, the woman who had helped Charles navigate his most difficult years. She thought their partnership was unshakable, that she was too integral to his life and the monarchy for anything to jeopardize her place. But this decision was a direct challenge to everything she had come to expect. In private, Camilla was said to be grappling with her emotions. Her place in the royal family had always been precarious, but this decision seemed to have drawn a clear line. Was her relationship with Charles truly just about fulfilling a royal duty, or had it been more about love and personal connection? The press and public reaction. As news of the king's shocking decision made its way to the media, the public was left in a whirlwind of speculation. How could Charles, who had been married to Camilla for years, make such a dramatic move? Was this really about the villa incident, or was there something more beneath the surface? The press quickly picked up on the family dynamics at play. Royal experts began analyzing the situation, suggesting that Camilla's actions had irreparably damaged her standing within the royal family. Some questioned whether Charles's decision had been influenced by Princess Anne's push for stability, while others speculated that the king had made this move to distance himself from any future controversies. Sources close to Camilla claimed that she attempted to reason with Charles, arguing that her actions regarding the villa had been in the best interest of the monarchy. She tried to explain that she had only acted out of a sense of responsibility, believing the property should be used to its full potential. But Charles was unmoved. In the court of public opinion, opinions were divided. Some sympathized with Camilla, while others felt that Charles had made the right choice in ensuring the monarchy's future stability. As the dust settled on this royal scandal, it became clear that Charles's shocking decision was part of a larger shift in the way the monarchy would operate moving forward. Charles, influenced by both his personal relationship and the pressures of duty, had made a choice that signaled a departure from tradition. Charles had always been the protector of Camilla, but this time, he had to make a hard choice. A close confidant of the royal family revealed that the monarchy's future was at stake, and he realized that sometimes even love needs to be put aside for the greater good. For the royal family, this decision had profound implications. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in which the future of the monarchy would be centered not just on personal ties, but on the strategic preservation of royal assets and stability. The exclusion of Camilla from the king's will highlighted the delicate balance between loyalty and duty, love and legacy. The redrafting of the will became more than just a legal matter, it was a strategic move to ensure the monarchy's survival in an ever-changing world. and understood that the monarchy needed to adapt, but it had to adapt in a way that preserved its core traditions. The decision to exclude Camilla from significant provisions wasn't taken lightly, but Anne believed it was necessary. Other members of the family would also have varying reactions. Prince William, always careful about maintaining family unity, might have expressed disapproval over the decision's public nature, preferring a more private resolution. As the monarchy adapted to this new reality, one thing remained clear: Camilla's place in royal history would be forever changed, as would her relationship with the family she had fought so hard to be a part of. One of the most pressing concerns that Anne raised was Camilla's growing influence over royal assets, particularly the villa. Her actions had caused ripples of distrust among family members, and for Anne, this was an unacceptable breach of trust. The will had to reflect not just the relationships within the family, but the larger vision for the monarchy's future. What's next for Camilla and the royal family? In the aftermath of the shocking decision, Camilla's future within the royal family remains uncertain. While she continues her public duties alongside Charles, questions about her role behind the scenes linger. Will she remain a trusted partner to the king, or will this decision mark a shift in their dynamic? To Princess Anne, however, the decision has been seen as a necessary step to preserve the monarchy's integrity. Anne's influence in this matter cannot be understated, as her concerns about the monarchy's future seem to have played a crucial role in Charles's decision-making. For King Charles, the road ahead will also be challenging. His decision has already created ripples within the royal family, and the fallout could have long-lasting effects on the monarchy's image. But for now, the question remains: was Charles's decision a necessary step for the future of the crown, or was it a harsh break from a partnership built on years of loyalty? Only time will tell how this shocking decision shapes the future of the British monarchy.